Hi everyone, welcome back to the City Aperture channel. I am Jose, I go by City Aperture. This week I figured I've been planning this for a bit of time, and that's to get into a little more of the, I work as an architect, so I want to get into a little more of the architecture stuff. So this week we're going to do something a little fun to get into it, and some stuff to come in the channel. But we're going to work on this drawing here, and if you're looking at this is The Incredibles. As if you've seen the animated movie The Incredibles, this is the exterior of the house that they live in. I forget when the movie came out, but it's one of my favorite movies as far as environments and buildings. One of my favorite animated movies as far as environments and buildings. So I was thinking it'd be fun if we try to figure out the floor plan for this house and maybe even did a model of it. We'll get into that in other episodes. But I think we're going to start out by just sort of drawing a floor plan. We're going to start out by sketching out a floor plan. Then we're going to refine that drawing, and then we'll take it into CAD. So, let's just get right into it, and we'll see how this works. And if people like this, then maybe we'll do some more stuff down the line. But I think looking at a house like this, a mid-century house, we are gonna start by there's only so much information out there about it, and understanding that they've framed a lot of these views so that work for the movie, not necessarily thinking of what this house actually lays out like. We're gonna try and do our best with it, but we know there's a garage, right? Looking at the elevation, we know we can start out with there's a 2-car garage. We'll figure 1 car, 2 cars, right? Make that a little darker so you can make sure you guys can see it. And we're gonna start very rough here, just sort of trying to lay it out. But we're gonna have a 2-car garage. There's a little bit of room to this side of the garage and a little bit of room on this side of the garage before we have a piece that sticks out. So I'm assuming this is sort of a divider wall. Based on how the roofs tend to work, there's a bit of a slope here and a bit of a slope there. We are gonna figure there's a wall coming back here. We'll see how that works. Then there's a main part of the house. They seem to line up. We have a bit of the house, and then we have the door in here before we have this large wall. And we'll look at a couple of photos in a second that show how large this wall is. Seems to stick out a bit. We'll figure that part out later. Alright, so we'll have door, that space. And then here it's a larger volume than this on this side. I think this wall's all align, but it's clearly a bigger space over to here. Let's just guess around there for now. This space has a window in it, then some wall, and then another small window. And this side is about the same as this side. So we'll just call it there for now. Right now we're going rough, We're just gonna look at it very rough. There's clear stories throughout both, but we have that. Kind of like that. That seems to make sense. The other image to look at, let me cue it up here. There's not a lot of views of the back, but if we look at this image here, this is the exterior of the house at night. Unfortunately, I couldn't find an image during the day, and we can see there's a bump. The garage seems to have a window in the back for some reason. And we can see there's an L shape to this wall here. There's an L shape to the wall. There's a bit of glass in the back. And we can see that the bigger volume goes back. So let's switch back to our view. Alright, so we see that this kind of has some kind of L shape, sort of like that to it. Alright. This garage somehow has windows in the back. Let's just say there. Where the garage meets this volume, there's a bit of a step back before it bumps back out again. I have my suspicions as to what's going on there, actually, which we'll see later on. There's a step back, and then this comes back to meet. The wall turns back. This wall probably turns more like around here, let's just say. And then there's a step. It does look like these two walls are the same though, so maybe this garage is something like that, let's just say. It's hard to tell how deep this bump back is, but we'll figure that out. Something like that. Something like that. This has a window that goes this way. This will all be clues later on. This volume keeps going behind here and sort of connects kind of like that. This is clearly the biggest area of the house over here. We can erase this a little bit. Right, so this is the biggest volume of the house that clearly protrudes back behind here. Yeah, it's nice and big there. Okay, interesting. When I first looked at this house, I was figuring that you were coming into a living area. This goes back through here. Right, like that. It's interesting, and the roof seems to continue through here. That's the other thing that we can see. This roof extends above here, so this is dashed, which tells me there's a way from the garage to go through this way, through the back of the house, so you don't have to come in this way. That's interesting. And then all of this from here to about, let's say there, is glass. This being solid. We'll figure out that part of it, and there's windows back here somehow. Okay. Let's see, let's look at some other photos. We'll look at this image. This is the main living area of the house. I always figured this is where the main door went into. You can see there's a hallway leading to the back of the space. And there's also a door on the other side of it. Let's look at another photo here for a second. Is a photo of the same space, but looking back at it, and you can see in the background, if we zoom in, it's not the greatest quality photo. You can see there's glass back there. It's reflecting back what's behind us. That's interesting. I always figured that's the space that you came in through the front door into. I have an image here. In this image you can see the front door of the house, which is actually perpendicular to the clear story windows up high. And this is after he sets up the smoke alarm and everything gets wet, so they're drying off the books. And they clearly have on top of something that I can tell that's the dining room behind. There's a couple of scenes that happen in the dining room, mainly the kids fighting. If you look at this image, in this image you can see the dining room area, and those are the built-ins behind them. So actually what I'm thinking, let's switch back to our drawing here. What I'm thinking is this front door doesn't actually swing out here or anything. I think we have a recessed door that swings this direction, like so. And what we're seeing in the elevation is this wall. Yeah, that's starting to make sense, because when we look at kitchen images, this kitchen image is one that's the most clear, which this is when he's sneaking back into the house after some superhero work. You can see there's a small island in the kitchen, there's this sort of corner window to the kitchen, and then there's a clear path into the dining room. which I think when we switch back to this photo of them drying off the books, he's actually doing it on the kitchen counter. So okay, so that makes sense. Let's go back to our drawing. So I think this is where the kitchen is. There's a door in here. Which way did that swing? Looks like that door swings in here. Swings that direction. So that tells me you have counter. You know, this being glass, that's wall. There is the island, which is a very weird looking island in here. And then there's counter. Over here, there's some appliances to this side as well. I think that's what's happening there. This might back up to here. Like that. This is glass. Yeah, I think that's making sense. Which means that the dining table sits in here like this, which somewhat like that, with the built-ins happening. That's interesting. Built-ins happening this way. If we go back to that dining room table. Yeah, if we go to this image, you can see there are built-ins behind the dining table. You can see the stonework of the front wall and the clear story up above. Okay, so I think we have this area pretty figured out. This is, let's switch to a Sharpie here real quick. Again, we're just doing this roughly. We know there's a bump out there. We know we have wall here. I think we have wall there. Through here. Right, none of this is happening. We thought originally the door might have been there. I think this is the thick wall. We'll figure that half later. This wall is coming back here. The way in through is over here. We got wall, wall. That's glass, and then we have a wall over here and wall back here. We'll figure that out. Right, and then this is built-ins, dining table, cabinets with above. We'll figure out what the appliances are in a bit. Door, and then this is all glass in here. Go like that. This has a roof above. We've seen that in the aerial, so we'll have to figure out the interaction between the garage and this. Next, now over to this side. So that tells me, because this is the biggest area of glass, that means that the bedrooms have to happen here, and that living area that I was seeing has to happen back here somewhere. Let's look at some more images. Okay, so if you look at this one, when they're arguing still, you can see to the behind Mr. Incredible, you can see that thickened wall of the that shows on the exterior. The stone wall is there, and then to the left in the foreground you see the green couch, and you see the sort of divider wall. So that's looking towards the front of the house. Let's find some more photos. Alright, so looking at this image, this is the same argument, but from a different point of view. You can see there's a door behind Mr. Incredible. That's to his left. There's that hallway that leads to a door. You can see the stone wall. There's a fireplace there. We'll go. There's a couple of photos of this space. Here you can see where she was sitting. And I believe in this photo you're seeing the kitchen beyond. Right, that white area that's sort of somewhat above her head, just sort of above and to the left of her head, is the kitchen cabinets. And there's a fireplace. Okay. Alright, so switching back to our plan. I think the mistake here is that this cuts back somewhat like that. This is a low area. This is the big opening where we saw his, when they were having an argument, he was standing here. She was sitting here. And that's where we saw the thick wall, and then a wall here, and then the hallway. We also know that there's a door on this side, so, and we know that this wall ends over there. We see mostly glass, so this is gotta be the bedrooms over here. Interesting. It's obviously not the scale, because we're not sure what their scale is going to be. What we've seen here, though, is that the fireplace seems to be in this area. There's a fireplace that she's in front of, which would make sense because then this is the entire glass that's reflecting back at us in one of the views. That makes sense. You come in this way, kitchen, you can go to the living area. This is sort of the public area of the house. This is the bedrooms over here. Which means that this wall up above, again, the exterior may not match the views they had in the interior. You know, they designed this space without necessarily thinking about what the wall's doing. Huh. Because in none of the views of this space do we see the wall that we saw on the exterior up above. So I think we'll just have to assume that's just an exterior feature for some reason. Or maybe it was, you know, we can always assume there was an addition made to make this space bigger, whatnot, but let's just say this isn't here. Because there aren't any other views that show that. I think this will be the glass to the backyard. We'll have to fit in this space. Let's look at some of the other images. Okay, so here in this one, when the kids first discover the costumes, you can see we're in the parents' bedroom. We don't get a lot of use of the bedrooms other than really this shot, which is the parents' bedroom. I'll show you another shot of the parents' bedroom. But you can see behind her, there's that glass wall again. So that tells me the hallway that we're standing in front of was where their bedroom is. Here is on this one. We also see that in their bedroom, the parents' bedroom that is, there are two doors. We can assume one's the bathroom, one's a closet. So we'll just go with that assumption. So again, keeping in mind this is not the scale. We'll have to figure out the scale of things later. Let's just say this is what's happening here. If this is the parents' bedroom, let's just go that size for it. Alright, so this would be the bedroom here. Let's just call that master bed. Then you have the two doors. Let's just go. Can't really tell which way they swing. It seems like this one swings in. Let's say this will be master bath, and this will be closet, like that. Right? We know this is its own space, and we'll look at a photo of that in a second. And I believe this is his office over here, which then leaves room for, again, there's a door in here that would lead us to the kids' room. So we could have, we don't see the kids' room, so I think we have a little bit of liberty with that. We'll figure that out in a bit. Assuming there's, let's just think there's a hallway to bedroom 1, bedroom 2, and then this is the smallest bedroom, the nursery, bedroom 3, right? So let's just assume that's what happens here. We'll figure out closets later, but yeah, let's just say that could be it, right? We have wall, wall. We'll figure out windows. We don't see this side of the house, so we don't know what the window locations are there. We know there's a window here. Let's say that's happening kind of like that. Right. Hallway, bedroom, office. And then let's, well, this wall here like that. Closet, other space. I believe there's a door into this space, which could make that some kind of a bathroom for everybody, or a guest bathroom even. This is low, so this is where the wall is. Does something like the fireplace like that. I think we have a kind of a layout that can work with what we see. Let's double check something real quick. Yeah, so in this image you can see clearly that there's a door into what is his office, and then there's a door into this the other space that we had found. So let's assume that's a guest bathroom, and then that's his office, and then we don't see the wing of the kids, right? So there's a door into here, sort of on this, well, it wouldn't swing that way, it'd swing this way. We have a door there, the door to his office is in here. It's been a few years since I watched the movie again, but then we have master bedroom, closet, master bath. We have the bedrooms here. We'll have to figure out where that bathroom is in this configuration, but it could easily be eaten out of one of these rooms, you know. And that could be a bath, and these are closets for each. And she's got this maybe, since it's a bigger room, would be her closet, and she could have a closet there, whatever. But I think that gives us the layout. So from looking, this is where the wall divider is, that we see in some of the photos that we're seeing in this image here. Right, that's a very mid-century wall divider, and he's lifting up the couch. So this is the wall divider. The couch is sitting here. The couch is sort of an L shape, kind of like that. And he's on a chair here. The glass is behind him. There's also a TV and whatnot in here. We see in other images. I think there's a step too, right? There's a step in front of her. It looks like there's a step. I believe there's a step in here, and that's why that wall exists. Which again would lead to this being added, maybe. I don't know. Well, yeah, this could have been a hallway to all these rooms, and that might have been the. Interesting. Okay. Let's look again. So looking at some of the images of the garage, doesn't seem to be any windows behind in the back of the garage. This one doesn't show any. This has the garage door open, and there doesn't seem to be any windows back there. Also can't see a door, but there must be. So if we go back to this photo of the back, there's clearly windows in the back of the garage. So we can only assume there's something back there. Maybe it's a laundry room, maybe that's where the mechanical stuff is. And then we see that the only windows in the rooms are probably clear story, which makes sense. Right? All of these have clear story throughout, which means they don't need the low windows. We have this glass, and then glass here. So, you know, that tells me there's got to be a wall here in the back of the garage with some kind of a door. Let's just assume there's a door there, which lets you go from inside the garage outside to going through the kitchen. And then this is probably laundry. Let's just say this is, let me spell laundry and mechanical here. You know, you'll have your water heater, you'll have your AC unit, whatnot. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this. So let's just mark up the rest of the wall. We know that's a wall. We're gonna figure something like that. Window, 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 door, garage 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 door, gar here. We'll say do something like that. There's a window there and a door. A little bit of window. I think that works. So this isn't here. This is low. Let's just draw it in low. There's a level change here. This is a low wall. This is glass. 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 Garage door. Okay. That is a very quick layout, right? So let's just label all the rooms. We have 3 bedrooms, assuming the kids don't share bedrooms. The master bedroom, and again, proportions, we'll fix that next. Oh, hold on. Here, there's a wall here. That is the office. Right, which we do see quite a bit of the office. We're gonna say the kids are gonna have whole bathroom and closets there. Fireplace, so this is living. We've got dining, kitchen. We got laundry, we got mechanical, we got parking. I think this works. It's gonna get a little tricky here, but I think we have a couple of options. We could go to try and draw this more to scale, or we could just jump right into AutoCAD. I mean, just for the sake of discussion, you know, I know each of these cars, let's just say needs. I like to give. Usually, you want to give. They say between 8 and 9 feet. I'm gonna give 9 feet here. We're gonna give 9 foot there. You know, you want to leave about 2 feet in the middle. There's not a lot of room when you look at some of the images. Where you can see she's looking out of the garage, and the wall of the garage, this wall angles out this way, right? We'll just mark that darker. This wall angles out, so you only really need here and here about 2 to 3 feet. So, you know, just based off of that, we can start sizing some of this. You know, with this kitchen, I know this is 2 feet, this is 2 feet. We may make this 2 foot 4 to 2 foot 6 because there's a wall behind here. And then you can start sort of figuring it. This is also 2 feet. I like, you know, normally I'd like to give 4 feet at least here, but for the sake of this, we might do 3 and 3. So we can start sizing a lot of this out, which then lets us size this part out. We're gonna keep this wall, and this wall. We're all aligned. We'll figure out a distance there that looks good. But yeah, I think we have a base that we can start really getting into what this looks like. So now that this drawing is done, I'm going to move over to AutoCAD and hardline everything. I'll also do some elevations based off of the dimensions I have here. But that'll be next week. So that's the end of this episode of this, but we'll come back next week with a hardline floor plan. After the floor plan, the next episode after that will be modeling this thing. We're going to do a 3D model of it and then take some views. So stay tuned for that. Hope you like this. If you did, you know, subscribe or like the video, and thanks so much for watching. If you guys like this project, then maybe you'll enjoy the podcast that I do with my 2 colleagues, Claudia and Ray. We discuss purpose-driven design, making, and manufacturing. We talk about architecture. We talk about all sorts of making. We have a project of the week. So yeah, please check it out. Again, it's called The Made Podcast. Thanks so much.